lot of times when I end up telling the story, one of the things you end up telling people, and I always start it the same way, I met a girl.
How would you describe the culture when somebody comes here as a visitor? What's the culture like for them?
I think we do things very uniquely and very differently here. So the culture for them is like, wow, this is a different tour. This is a different tasting. I'm greeted with a beautiful Lallier champagne when I arrive.
I met this girl at University of Minnesota in 1985, and we started dating. She was working for 4 stores in Minneapolis, St. Paul that sold stereos, sheet music, and guitars called Sound of Music. And she loved it, so she kept working there after we graduated. We got engaged. They had, by the time we got married, they had grown to 12 stores. And then 3 years after we got married, our first child was born, and the 12 stores had grown to 50 stores. And I'm not very bright, but I thought that might be a better place to work. And so I joined the company at that point. They'd realized that sheet music and guitars weren't the future, so they'd gotten rid of those and bought TVs and appliances in. And they realized the name Sound of Music didn't fit, so they changed the name to Best Buy. So we were at Best Buy from the very early days, and were there till it was over 1,000 stores. And then in 2004, bought this place and moved out here and started the winery.
It's absolutely beautiful looking over this kind of quarter amphitheater, if you will, again planted to 10 acres, and on a beautiful day you can see clear across to Pritchett Hill, Atlas Peak.
Absolutely.
You can see the valley below us, and yeah, it's a breathtaking area. And Spring Mountain has really always been my favorite AVA, since I got into wine some 20 years ago, and lo and behold, I get to spend, every single day up here on this beautiful mountain.
The great temptation with beautiful wines is that you're going to treat them like a trophy, and for us, we don't choose to treat them like a trophy. These wines are meant to be shared with your family and your friends. I think one of the things that's the most gratifying about what we get to do is that the wines that we make end up on the table for people when they're celebrating, when they're with their family, with their friends for a special occasion, and they really want to enjoy a bottle of wine that's going to make the meal. And that's the blessing of what we get to do.
So let's talk about Spring Mountain for a second, because this AVA is definitely unique to Napa Valley.
It is.
And it's probably one of the most unique AVAs in the valley.
I think the reason is because it's actually the coldest and the wettest AVA in all of Napa. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing, or is it just a thing? I think it is a good thing. I think it's unique in the fact that it really separates our terroir. I mean, look, this mountain is probably 250 million years old, but when you think about the last 7 or so million years, how these mountain ranges, came apart and formed this wonderful fertile Napa Valley, and certain areas of this mountain eroded and made it suitable for us to plant in the 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, and going forward.
It really was something for us that allowed us to have a project that was of a scale that we could do it as a family. So that's really important to me as well. And our daughter actually graduated from UC Davis in viticulture, and she is starting her own wine called Fearless. So it's really become a family project for us.
And we have a very unique way of making the folks that we meet for the first time feel like they're family.
We start the tour in the vineyard. We have an opportunity to show people what we're doing there. We step into the cave and we might taste a little barrel sample of Pinot Noir in the cave. So those sights and smells, to smell the oak barrels, to smell the wine fermenting, really is a special thing to get to do. And then we finish the experience in the tasting room upstairs, a beautiful tasting room upstairs, where you can actually sit and get your nose into the glass and really enjoy the wine.
Absolutely, and so that's what we're having today, right?
Yeah, this is our Chardonnay, and we dug into the cellar a little bit. This is 2013 Chardonnay. The current release sold out 3 months after release.
So we want you to reach out to Wine Paths Travel and make sure that you've got Fantesca, this beautiful place. It is an extraordinary destination. You and your wife have done amazing things with this wine and the property, and it's such a pleasure to meet you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.